it's Andrew Greif from the Oregonian here on Tuesday afternoon outside Oregon Ducks football practice with Tyson Alger of the Oregonian. It's Michigan State week, if you hadn't heard. It's a top 10 matchup. Oregon remained at number 3 in the AP poll today. Michigan State moved up 1 to number 7. All that means is what we've always known all along. It's a huge game with huge implications. I think that one of the individual matchups that might be interesting that people might not be thinking about, they're thinking Michigan State's defense versus Oregon's offense. We'll get to that in a little bit. But what about Michigan State's offense against Oregon's defense, in particular maybe the receivers?
Yeah, that was kind of the big standout from Michigan State's game last week, was just the play of their big physical receivers. They had multiple guys go off in that game. And so today I was talking to Tyree Robinson and Reggie Daniels, 2 guys who are competing at the safety position and who really don't have a lot of experience back there. So I was kind of asking them, hey, if you were Michigan State, would you target you? Because you're kind of, not necessarily the weakness, but just the unproven. And the thing with Tyree, he's like, oh, I definitely would. He's like, and I hope they do. Because Tyree's the big physical safety out there. He's 6'4", is that right? And he kind of said, yeah, this is essentially what they recruited him for, to like go up against those guys, those big physical receivers that are going to be bombing downfield. And he said this is a matchup that, frankly, he's been looking forward to for 2 years.
Yeah. Helfrich talked for a long time today. He had a long conference call, and he talked about how this is being portrayed as, you know, the hyperbole of really what it is, which is a team that likes to play fast in Oregon and has had trouble with physical defenses and offenses before, against a defense that is known for its brawn and the way it kind of mutates itself. And he had some fun with it, saying, you know, it's more than that. We are more than that. They are more than that reputation. And yet, that's what it's kind of going to boil down to today, this weekend. I think that one thing is that Helfrich said that defense that they're seeing from Michigan State this weekend, he hasn't really seen that before in the Pac-12, which I thought was interesting. Not since he said maybe 2001, 2000 with some Washington State teams. That surprised me a little bit, just because what they do has been, talked about being so different from the national, but you're never really sure. Helfrich said, yeah, it really is. And even though they lost a really good middle linebacker last year, Max Bullock, they're apparently better, Helfrich said.
Yeah, he said they hadn't really missed a step. Like, there's like no disrespect to him, but you know, their current guy, he said, even looks faster than him.
Yeah. Last thing from us is just that Marcus Mariota, he was talked about by Helfrich a little bit about how do you get him to play simply in this big of a game. So much of this game is going to be on his shoulders. And he basically said they're going to try to limit him in some ways that he doesn't really think about. Maybe not ask him to do everything, and yet this is going to basically circulate all around Marcus in some ways. Maybe it's unfair to put that all on his shoulders, but it's going to be on him.
Well, when you're a potential Heisman candidate, I think he can probably carry a little bit of that load on his shoulders.
Absolutely.
So we'll find out on Saturday.